I've had cancer, I've lost a son, I've lost the fingertips, I've had to have gauze put over a hernia, but yeah, as I say, you know, I've trained a lot of winners, I've had a lot of enjoyment for a lot of people. I'm Michael Pitman, horse trainer from Christchurch, New Zealand. I know what hospitals look like. I tell you, I had an accident just after I got my trainer's licence. I think I had my trainer's licence 2 weeks, which I should probably never have got, to be honest. I've never worked for one person in my life. I never earned $1 working for another trainer. I was crank starting my car because I had a flat battery and it fired up and hit me into a concrete block wall through a plate glass window. Long story short, I ended up in hospital for 26 consecutive weeks and I came out with below knee leg amputation. I had to focus on something and I focused on my boys a lot and obviously our career as trainers. I never walked out of hospital. I came out in a wheelchair with an artificial limb, and I actually had a surgeon from Scotland who was doing all the work with me, and he said to me, make sure you enjoy life, Michael, because you'll be in a wheelchair before you're 50. Well, as I said to a few people, I'll die before I'm in a wheelchair. I won't end up in a wheelchair, I'm too active. I was first diagnosed May 2018 that I had bowel cancer, and I was told that I had a 12-month battle on my hands, which I have had, obviously, and I was operated on October the 8th last year. So I was fully aware of what battles you do have with cancer. Whilst bowel cancer is probably not the worst, it is one of the killers, isn't it? Yeah, unfortunately I lost my son. And he's a very intelligent boy. He took his own life on the Wednesday of our major carnival in Christchurch on the Wednesday night. We still had races on the Saturday. We had the front up, which is I'm in the public arena, and the show has to go on. You know, we're like actors, really, horse trainers and jockeys. You know, we've got to put on a performance. So I fronted up at the races on the Saturday, and on the Sunday I got really depressed. Certainly the most heart gut-wrenching day of my life. You know, and I live it every day. It's hard on my son that trains in partnership with me now, because not only did he lose his brother, he lost his best friend. Fathers not supposed to bury their children, and as I say, there's not a day goes by. I mean, I wish he was sitting here beside me, because he would have been, you know, he's that sort of a kid. He loved sport, loved racing as well. With him and my son, my other boy, they raced a horse that won 26 races between them. Probably it's the winningest horse we've ever trained, and they were the owners of it. So you can imagine how full on we were in those days. Yeah, life goes on. I know I've said it many a time, life's for living, and we've chosen to carry on, yeah. Having a run at Royal Ascot, look, I've watched Royal Ascot races in the middle of the night. You know, you've got to remember we're 12, 11 hours behind in New Zealand, but I've watched Royal Ascot every year for the last 20 years. I just love the pageantry. I love the fact that a lot of the horses that win the races here, the 2 and 3 year old races, obviously, they become stallions all over the world. It's the mecca, it's the week's racing, there's no doubt about it. Did I ever think I'd come here? Oh, I probably thought I'd come here at some stage, but I come here as a participant? No way, there's no way. Michael Pitman, I mean, one thing I didn't mention, when I got out of hospital after 26 weeks, I had $17 to my name. How the hell was Michael Pitman going to come here as a broke horse trainer with a horse? And I mean, we've done well. And I always say to people, it's amazing the doors that a good horse can open. And I'm not saying my horse is a top class horse, even though he's won 2 Group 1s, but he deserves to be here. And my wife and I deserve to be here, so do the owners, and we're making the absolute most of it. 6, 7 years ago, we trained a lot of winners without having a lot of success at the highest level. To compete at the highest level, we had to start buying horses. We very rarely bought any horses. So 6 or 7 years ago, Jonathan and I went and spent a weekend at Chris Waller's, and it was only a month after we got back from there that my son took his life. But we've pressed on with the plan, and Enzo's lad's the first of those horses from that plan. We're not dreamers, we know that we're 50 to 1 shot, but he was 72 to 1 when he won his first Telegraph, and he was 52 to 1 when he won his second. So we've gone into Group 1 races as the underdog before. We won't be embarrassed if we get our butts kicked, but we'll be ecstatic if we are competitive.
They're off. They get away fairly decent break. Soldier's Call was the fastest one away. Blue Point over the far side in blue got away strongly as well, and Enzo's lad in Primus and Fairyland are chasing. In Primus just in behind those as they head down to the final furlong. Batosh nearest to us in blue and white. Blue Point the all blue far side behind those Soldier's Call, and then comes Mab's Cross. Head towards the line, Blue Point in front. Batosh nearest to us trying to get to it, but it's the same as last year. Blue Point from Batosh.
It's not disheartening because it's an occasion that we all wanted to come. We knew what we were walking into. I thought he jumped really well, and he couldn't have got a better run. I mean, David gave him every possible chance, but you know, when we came down from the box we're in and went into the parade ring, I mean, our hopes were diminishing every drop of rain, really. He's got to have a rock hard track, which is surprising for a New Zealand trained horse, but the harder the better, you know. But I mean, if we get some fine with the weather between now and Saturday, he'll run again. I'll walk away from here, not thinking about where my horse has finished today, but I'll walk away from here saying, well, I've been to the best racing in the world.
And that's just about it for the Diamond Jubilee. And they're away, bound for nowhere on the extreme far side from stall one, but Catchy, like a bullet from a gun, leads by 3 lengths. Catchy, the one to catch, but can he last it out here? Tracked by Emblazoned, bound for nowhere. Then in behind those is Blue Point, Limbs Cruiser and Invincible Army, chased by Enzo's lad in the white headgear, Yafta. On the far side, City Light is making good progress now, still Catchy leading the way. Out very wide stands Marley and Keystroke. Blue Point now looming up to challenge Catchy. Blue Point joining Catchy. Invincible Army, Dream of Dreams, speaking colours. He says go on Blue Point. Blue Point strikes the front again at Royal Ascot from Catchy. Dream of Dreams is coming home well, then speaking colours. Blue Point all out. Dream of Dreams is thrusting. Blue Point near side. Blue Point.
If Enzo's lad hadn't come to Hong Kong and to UK, I'd probably be at home sitting on my couch moping about my position in life, you know. We don't train many horses to race in the winter in New Zealand. Enzo's lad's given me the motivation to overcome the issues that I've gone through. Possibly before I lost my son, I probably didn't have the best attitude. I'm a fiercely competitive person, and I used to see bad rather than good, but I tend now to look for the positive things in life. I know I'm a better person. It sounds silly, doesn't it? You lose your son and you think you're a better person, but I guess I am. And having gone through what I've just gone through with cancer, I now know the importance that you've got to share those things with people. That's why I've been so open about it. Look, I've had a great life, you know. I think I touched on it before. A lot of people say, you know, they feel sorry for me and everything like that because, you know, I've had a few bad things happen, but I've had a great life, really. I'm not ready to die yet, don't you worry. I got a lot of winners to train. I want to train 2,000 winners in New Zealand. I've got a really good team. I've bought more horses in the last 6 months than I've ever bought in any 5 years. I mean, I want to go home. I want to come back here next year with another horse. I want to find a horse that I can come back here. I might want to come back with 2 or 3. I want to try and win Group 1 races everywhere. I want to go back to Australia. We took a horse to the Cox Plate and got well beaten. But that's not the last time I want to have a Cox Plate run. I hate getting beat, you know. I love winning, and I want to relish that opportunity again for my wife and my son to be competitive at the highest level.